Hey guys, welcome to one of my absolute favorite tools when it comes to learning how to not only listen, but trust and tune in to your highest wisdom. It's called the sway test and it's super easy. So I want you to stand up and I want you just to kind of start to move your body around a little bit, loosen it up. I know it feels a bit weird at first, but just trust me, there's method in the madness. So when you are kind of loosey-goosey, you don't want to have your legs locked out, you want to have your knees just slightly bent. I want you just to have your feet about hip distance apart. You can do this with shoes on or shoes off, not with high heels. Just make sure you've got your feet flat towards the floor. And I want you just to rock your hips a little bit. No one needs to see. And then just have your hands resting in front. I just like to have my hands loosely clasped and just resting. So roll the shoulders back and down. And I want you to slightly micro bend your knees. And I want you just to relax into your body and maybe tilt the tailbone ever so slightly. So if I was standing just like this, you'd be like, yeah, Belle, standing up nice and tall, and then just a little bit of a tilt. That's all. Just a tiny, tiny little tilt. Okay, so now we're in a great position to do the sway test. Now, I wonder, while we're just standing here, have you ever used a pendulum? Have you heard of a pendulum? Now, pendulums are, I'll show you, I've got one right here. Pendulums are often used in spiritual practices because pendulums will rock one way. I'm kind of forcing that to happen. Or they will go another way, forward and back, left and right, or they might even go round and around and around. Okay, so we're not using a pendulum. You are going to become the pendulum, and that's the coolest part of this practice. So this is something that you can use anytime, anywhere. You don't have to whip out your little pendulum from your pocket. You can just simply use your body and learn to trust what she's bringing forward for you, okay? There's no magic in this. This is simply showing you how intelligent your body is. So let's get nice and comfy. Find that position, shoulders back and down, tuck the pelvis slightly, feet hip distance apart, knees slightly bent, just unlock those knees. And I want you to lower your gaze. Now, you can always go back and replay this over and over in practice, but for now, see if you can lower your gaze or even close your eyes. And I want you to be thinking and repeating the words that I'm going to say. Notice how your body responds, okay? Let's begin. Love. Just repeat these words to yourself. Kindness, compassion, hope, consideration, thoughtfulness, adoration, loving, gentle, soft, ease, flow. All right, open your eyes if they're not already open. How was that? Did you notice that your body moved in a certain way? All right, I'm going to try something else. Just noticing how your body is moving, how it's responding, what it feels like, okay? Lower your gaze or close your eyes. Find that beautiful neutral position, shoulders back and down, tailbone tucked under slightly, knees slightly bent. Hate, repeat these words. Anger, conflict, arguments, frustration, irritability, impatience, reactivity. Notice how that feels. Okay, shake it out. Shake it out. Okay, so did you notice that your body moved a certain way? Did you notice that your body felt slightly different between those positive words and the negative words? That's what we're looking for. So we're going to do that again. Find your comfortable neutral position. Let the eyes close or lower. Take a gentle breath. Repeat after me in your own mind. Love, kindness, ease, patience, flow, consideration, thoughtfulness, happiness, kittens, babies, bunnies, sunshine, nature walks, beach weather, traveling, adventuring, happiness, togetherness, closeness, cuddles. Okay, open your eyes. How did that feel? All right. I'm going to help you out because sometimes people don't quite know what to feel, what they should be experiencing. And I didn't want to leave you with those negative words as the last thing that we practiced. But what you may notice if you go back and you practice this again is that your body moves forward when I say the positive words, and it moves either upright and neutral, or you might even sometimes get a really firm backward movement. It can be very subtle, it can be very strong. Okay, so when this happens, your body is actually moving in the direction of what feels good. So I wonder if you notice when you meet someone on the street that you happen to bump into, and you are glad that you've bumped into them, you might notice that you reach out to them. You might touch them on the shoulder or the elbow. You might take a step forward towards them, and you'll both kind of lean in together. But if you run into someone on the street that you didn't perhaps want to see, you might notice that you take a step back. You might notice that you continually kind of start to turn your body language and withdraw. Now, that's because we generally want to move towards what is congruent, what is true, what is good for us, and we want to move away from, and we are repelled by, what is not necessarily good for us. So as we're learning how to be more in tune with our highest wisdom, our expanded wisdom, we also need to learn what our body is telling us. And when we do that, we can learn to trust our body, to be that first sign. You know, we all know what it's like to get butterflies in the stomach or to have the hairs on the back of the neck stand up, but it's the next step. What do you do with it after you've had that first step? So as you practice becoming the pendulum, tuning in and understanding why your body reacts the way it does, you'll learn to trust her in a much more meaningful way. If you have any questions, don't forget to post and let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. But most of all, have fun with this technique. This is meant to help draw you closer to trusting your own innate wisdom. And if you ask anything of your body, you could be standing there at the shops one day and think, well, should I go to that cafe or this cafe? So you can say, should I go to this cafe? And you get a very strong yes, then go. But if you get a neutral or a no, then don't go. Go to the other one and just see what happens. Maybe nothing, maybe something. Who knows what's going to happen? But learning to trust your innate wisdom is going to be one of the best tools that you have as you step more fully into the most expanded version of all that you are. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope this was informative, and I look forward to hearing more about how showing up for yourself, doing that sway test and becoming your own pendulum is actually going to help manifest more incredible things in your life.